What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, and just want to talk about something real quick, just in case if anybody's wondering where all the older videos went. I had to clean up my YouTube channel a little bit, so videos are still going on, but as far as the older ones, those are officially gone. But I'm still here. So as far as discussing recaps and all that stuff, I'll be around. So, something that I have to do that, is kind of annoying, but I gotta do this. And that's why, I cleaned up the channel a bit. Just got to put up a disclaimer, the whole thing. I'm obviously not a broker dealer, and this is just for informational purposes. I'll put it up for a few seconds just to make sure everybody totally understands. All right, cool. So now, as far as yesterday, I will quickly go over that. I'll go over the P&L. I happen to have a decent day. I made $184 trading SNCR. So just so everybody sees that, I took 400 shares of it. I will see if I can pull up the chart and get a clean look at it. SNCR. All right, so I was looking at the gaps, the stuff that I like to watch, and I saw that this thing just tanked pre-market on bad news, and the stock didn't take well to it. So basically, this thing, the very first candle was red. Second candle had a push up, failed to go higher. It was also coming up on the whole number 14, so I kind of felt like a 14 washout a little bit. So I decided to take it short. When it failed to move higher, I took it short at 14.15. Here, I'll post this up one more time just to show numbers or entry and exit. I took it short at 14.15. I ended up taking the position off at 13.69 for 46 cents for a 46-cent gain. So I took it short at 14.15. Stop was going to be above the candle that I got in on, so risking about 15 cents. And then I ended up getting a pretty decent trade on this. I got, 3-to-1 risk reward. There was a lot more to go. I mean, this thing, the low of this was 13.02. So definitely left a lot on the table. But, I'm guilty of being a little impatient. And when I'm up a decent amount, I tend to just take profits. So this thing ended up going all day. And, would have been a good opportunity to maybe take a partial and let a little bit run. But I'm guilty of not doing that. So it is what it is. I still got a good trade on it. So overall, happy with that. Obviously, 2 days ago, I took a whack on Amazon, totally deviated from the strategy. And what happened? I got my butt kicked. So it just goes to show that, anytime I deviate from what I like, it never works out well. And I end up taking, unnecessary losses. So as far as today goes, I had a watch list. I was looking at SRPT, WDC, GEMO, and ATHN. And I found ATHN last night because I saw, obviously you can see all this, the after hours gap down, and then kind of continued to hold the lows. So I thought, maybe this will be a very good reversal setup. So I was watching this. This was my main play, and I'll quickly just pull this over to show the trade that I took on it. So I ended up taking this short on a real nice reversal. I mean, as you can see, as I noticed, it was, it created a tight channel pre-market. So I thought maybe this could be a very nice reversal setup. I also saw that it was, right around that 100 number. So that psychological number. And I figured that, maybe this has a shot to be a good trade today. And I got a really good entry on this. And, funny enough, I got a point on the trade, but I left so much on the table. I can be guilty of catching a decent move and then just realizing it's a big move, taking all the profits off. I mean, it was only 200 shares, but still, I did leave a lot on the table. But overall, it was a good entry and a good trade. I got to work on being able to ride it out a little bit longer, or really take those partials and let those partials run. Being that this is a small account, I find myself just seeing a decent gain there and wanting to take it to slowly build the account and then eventually, be better with sizing up a little bit leaving a little bit of as far as a runner goes. But I do need to practice that regardless if the account is small or big. So very first 2-minute candle push up. That's what I like to see. Totally failed to move higher. Came down, broke below the 20 SMA and also the VWAP, and also came to that whole number 101, and I took it short just before the break of 101. So kind of, trying to anticipate the breakdown of lows and get in right, and I got in at 101.02. So it was a really good entry. I got in right there just before the break. This thing, I mean, immediately, it happened to be where I got this at a decent inflection point. So, these are the type of trades that I like, right? Where you get in off, what looks to be a really good entry, and boom, you're immediately in the money because it happens to be right. I was risking 50 cents. I got $1, so it was a 2-to-1. But this thing tanked to 100. And, funny enough, if anything, that's probably where a lot of people also got in as well. And I got a point, and I was like, man, I just got the easiest point ever, and I ended up taking it off. And this thing obviously continued, broke down past 100, and then what was the low? The low of this was 96.83. So I left points on the table. But I would much rather be in a position where I say I missed out on some rather than taking a bad trade or not taking the trade at all and having that FOMO and just watching it go by and then looking back and being a little upset that I didn't take it. So at least I got a piece of it. I'm not in the game of trying to catch tops and bottoms. I'm really in the game of just being able to catch a piece of the move and get a meat of the move, and get some of the meat of that move. So, I ended up getting a very easy point, and I couldn't complain. So, overall, it was very quick and it was very stress free, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take calculated trades that are stress free, because I find that when I get into a trade and it may not necessarily work out as planned, I can sometimes have that voice in my head like, hey, just hang in there a little bit. You got to give it some wiggle room, and all right, and then you start having that mental game go on a little bit, and then or sometimes hold a loser a little bit too much. But ideally, it's just, I mean, today was an easy day, right? And there was a lot of stuff that also set up really good. This SRPT, I was looking at this, thought it was pretty good. Really nice move higher. The daily is, as far as the daily goes, it is, a little choppy, but I mean, it has been uptrending lately. So being that, this thing gapped up and was looking strong, I was looking for a reversal setup, and that's exactly what it did. It pulled down to some pre-market support and then pushed over the whole number 38 above 20 SMA, above VWAP, and this this happened to be a really, really good reversal that I just missed. Not even missed. I happened to hit the trade. I hit my trade in the morning, and it was kind of a one and done, and making $200. That's a nice gain. So got my butt kicked on Amazon, but I ended up making it back in 2 days, and a little bit more. But so as far as the day goes, up $200. The account is at 1376. So I'm back to where I started. After that, just an unnecessary loss on Amazon. I found myself doing this where occasionally when I deviate from the plan or I deviate from the watch list, it ends up not working out, and then I go back and I'm like, why did I even do that? So from here on out, I'm really going to focus on doing my homework, after the market closes to see, as far as earnings goes, what is gapping. And then obviously, trying to stick to predominantly those names. And then also, the new gaps that have gapped that morning. And then just try to see what I like best. And then only focus on a select few, only focus on 2, 3, 4, 5 max. But today, my main watches were SRPT, ATHN, WDC, and then GIMO. So those are the main four. My favorites out of those were ATHN and WDC. WDC sold off at the open, and I didn't really like this. Sold off, no real sign of any sort of reversal that I saw, so I stayed away from it. And then obviously SRPT kind of took the place of WDC. Had my eyes on it. Already nailed the trade in ATHN, so I called it a day. I didn't really want to put on any more unnecessary risk, being that it's a Friday, and then just be pretty happy that I got a very easy 200 bucks. But yeah, so and then as far as GIMO goes, how to push, ideally I wanted to see this kind of come back down and then potentially make that push towards lows and then maybe try to anticipate the break just before it. Didn't really do that and kind of hung around in a channel, so stayed away from that. So really all I'm realizing is it takes one good trade and just trying to do anything, try to do all the homework you possibly can to find that one good trade. And it's great that I happened to trade ATHN today and it worked out because I did my homework on it last night and I woke up today already having that mindset of like, I think that this is going to be the stock today that I can have an opportunity to make a trade on. And, funny enough, it worked out. I feel like those are the days where I can almost mentally be, really on top of my game because I feel very confident about what's going on and I've done the homework so I can have the conviction to take it. And this is just, I really like this kind of pattern, right? Push up and totally break down. And it is a more expensive stock. So I went a little bit lower. I only took 200 shares because this thing, I know that if this breaks down, this is going to be, a mover. So that's why, I do like trading these more expensive stocks, but just trying to go a little bit less share size because they obviously they can move around like crazy. So overall, a good day, a good, past 2 days. And I am just going to continue to stick with what works and not get distracted and deviate from the plan. Stick to those. I'm going to stick to those reversals, especially during earnings season because the momentum is there. And then hopefully just hopefully just continue the consistency. So that's it for me. Happy Friday, everybody. Have a good weekend, and I will see you in the next video.